Developing a strong mindset as a young person is one of the most important things that you should master at a young age. Something that is only going to compound over time. For myself, I honestly do believe that I'm built different compared to most people I see nowadays. Anyone that knows my story, that's been following this channel for a while, kind of knows the trauma, the setbacks that I've been through at a young age, and I've always kind of remained mentally strong through much times of uncertainty and times where I could have easily just broken down and just curled myself up into a ball and think, oh, life's so unfair. And don't get me wrong, I used to be this type of guy. I used to be that guy who was mentally weak and thought life was just unfair. And I'm not trying to tell you like, oh, look at me, I'm the perfect role model, you should be exactly like me, because I have bad days too. I am not perfect. I could be a lot better. But for myself, I've always had that ability to keep going, to keep positive, to keep pushing through and keep doing my day-to-day activities that I know that's going to help me, that I know that's going to fulfill me, that I know is going to make my life better in the long run. And I believe that being mentally strong is a skill that takes years and years of mastery. Because like I say, a few years ago, I was this guy, 2 to 3 years ago, I just complained about life. Life is so unfair. The smallest kind of inconvenience that happened in my life, I would be like, this is not fair, what's the point? I just wouldn't try. And now I kind of look back at what I've been through over the last year, 2 years, and seen how well I've dealt with it myself, and I'm very proud of myself. But to think who I was 2 to 3 years ago, when I was just mentally weak, doing nothing with my life, making no effort, lazy, complaining about everything, I can only look back at myself with a sense of disgust at the young man, the young boy I was. And this is quite frankly how I feel about a lot of my peers, a lot of people I see on a day-to-day basis, a lot of people that I listen to their so-called problems, and I have no sympathy for them, because none of these people have been through any type of hardship. They don't know what struggling is. Not saying that I've had it really tough or anything compared to a lot of people out there in obviously these very difficult countries and backgrounds growing up. By no means have I had it that difficult. But some people have just had nothing throughout their whole life, and such the slightest inconvenience, say they can't go out one night, or maybe they just don't have enough money to buy these clothes or something they want out of stock, and I'm just like, you've just not been through anything. People will be like 30 and the most traumatic thing in their life is their dog's died. I'm just like, you've not seen anything yet, kid. And like I say, I have down moments too, like maybe 1 or 2 hours a week in one day, I'll be a bit down, I'll be struggling for a bit, but I could never be down for a whole day or anything like that. I could never just sit in bed and do fuck all. Like, for me, I just be like, I'm wasting my time. It will be an hour or two, and then I'd be like, oh, come on, like, look at yourself, what are you doing? Like, you have so much more to be grateful. I start to remember what truly matters in my life. And I think that's helped a lot from me doing a lot of journaling about myself, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of gratitude journaling too. But like I say, I understand why a lot of people are like this, and that's what this video is here to do. It's here to help those people that are mentally fragile, as I once was as a young boy, who would have those thoughts of maybe it would just be better if I just killed myself. I could never go back to these days, and I'm very grateful for somewhat. Obviously it's not nice to think back, and in these moments I'm like, I wish they didn't happen, but for some of the stuff that has been thrown at me in my life, I'm grateful for it, because if these challenges had never been put in front of me, I would have never grown. I would have never become a mentally strong man who can help a lot of young people, who can help yourself, hopefully. But that is what this video is for. So how did I turn this around? How did I become this mentally strong young man? And this video is not just for men too, because there's a lot of women too. I know it's different. Women are a lot more emotional creatures, but there is honestly I know a lot of women who are mentally stronger than a lot of the young boys that I see today. And that is crazy to think, because obviously it should be the other way around. And this video is going to be mainly aimed towards men, and obviously a lot of the viewers, yourself, a lot of people watch this channel is mainly aimed for young men, but hopefully women too, this will help you. So for a young man, I believe that you are not born as a mentally strong man. You are built as that person. You have to go through everything. That is how it kind of used to be. If we go back to like our ancestors, we would be put kind of through all these little tests, and we'd have like moments where we'd be taken by our fathers to different challenges, and we'd be tested against people who are older, bigger, stronger, wiser than ourselves. And that's kind of how we grew. But nowadays we don't really have kind of these stuff like we used to. We just kind of go through life following the education system, and if we don't have a strong father figure, that's all we've got. We have to find outside external influences. So the first point, and I believe that this is the main point, if you just listen to this point and took action from it, like I know a lot of people don't, but if you did, then it will honestly make you 100, 200, 300 times stronger than you are today. And that is putting yourself through uncomfortable situations, is putting yourself through those challenges that you don't really want to do. And like I say, this is the most important thing that you could do as a young man. Put yourself through stuff that you don't want to do. Like for me, I wouldn't be talking to you on camera right now if I didn't put myself through uncomfortable situations. I was the shyest kid in school. I had no confidence. I had such low self-esteem. I cared about everything. But now I had to put myself in this situation. I had to just put myself on camera. When I first started speaking, I didn't know what to say. I had people telling me like, oh, you're not really made for this, you can't do this. I remember the first time I tried to start this, when I was meant to be starting with a couple of my so-called friends at the time. We started doing a podcast, and I remember one of the guys said behind my back, it was like, oh, it'd be better off if just us two did it and left Thomas out of it. It'd be way better that. And I was just like, honestly, like, fuck this guy. Like, he's meant to be my friend and he's saying this behind my back. But that's it. It's just, you will go through those situations, and a lot of us as young men who have not had it too easy growing up know that's just how it is. And you can't let those things, these little things, get in your way and stop you. It's kind of like flight or fight at the end of the day. And a lot of people will choose the flight option, but I will always fight. If someone kind of tells me like, you're no good at that, you can't do it, for me that is one of the big motivators. I will do it. I will push myself as much as I possibly can. For me, obviously for everyone it doesn't work like that, but I think for most young men, if you kind of tell someone like, oh, you're no good at this, like, you're no good, you should just quit or just try something else, this isn't working, it makes you want it more. And especially for me, that's what happened. And the same with kind of posting on social media. It's something like a lot of people really struggle with, something I struggled with, but I just did it. You just got to keep doing it time and time again. And rejection, that's a massive thing as well. I've been rejected so many times, especially from women, from opportunities too. And this is something that a lot of young men are afraid of. They won't go speak to a woman they find attractive. They won't go for maybe a job, career opportunity that they really like and would benefit their life, just because of that fear over rejection. But for me, it's always been regret over rejection. I prefer to be rejected than have that like regret of being like, oh, what if that girl really liked me? What if it could have materialized into something? What if that opportunity that was right in front of me was the best opportunity and I'll never get that again? Obviously it's very unlikely. We go through a lot of different opportunities for our life, more than you imagine, and once you start to realize this, you will see them in abundance. And even if it's nothing special, I'd much prefer to be like, okay, well, they said no and it's okay. It's honestly, a lot of people, I feel, they think rejection will feel that bad, but I can tell you for a fact that it feels a lot better to be rejected than just being regretful about the opportunity that you had that you won't get back again. But and that's a very important point. Like, you just have to. I feel there is no simple way. There's no simple way through life. And when it becomes becoming like mentally strong as a young man, you have to do this. You have to put yourself, unless you're born naturally very strong-minded, you have a very strong father figure there, you've had maybe an older brother who's kind of guided you and made you mentally tough, put you through those trials and tribulations that young men need to go through, then you're going to have to do it yourself. And it's not nice. I've been through that. I've done that. I've leveled up to a very good level, which I'm happy with. I want to keep pushing. I want to become more tough. I want to put myself through more challenges. I want to make my life more difficult because I want to reap the rewards. I want to test myself, and that's something that you should do. You should stop being scared of doing this. The next point I have, which is actually one my sister thought of, so I'll give her credit for this, but it's a really, really good point. And this is to only consider people's opinions who you respect, what they say about you. So a lot of people, especially when we're young, we naturally hear what people say, maybe our family and our so-called friends. When we're young, we get a bit confused and we hang around with the wrong people. We just want to fit in, and we'll listen to a lot of people's views, even people who we don't even have an opinion of. If they say anything negative about us, then we naturally are like, it puts us down. And that's kind of our tribal instinct. We were only part of a small tribe when we were back in the day, and our ancestors were 20, 30 people. That was all it was. Now with social media, that is extended to the whole universe, and that's just the way it is. So we're not used to dealing with people outside our kind of like close friends and our family giving us kind of negative feedback. So it's natural for us to kind of be taken back by what some of these people say, and obviously it's not nice, but it kind of comes back to being in uncomfortable situations and just going through that time and time again. At first you're going to be like, you might try and tell yourself and tell other people that, oh, I don't care what he says and all of this, but deep down I know from my personal experience that you do care. But it just takes time to just be like, yeah, fuck this guy. I don't give a fuck what he says. He's not done anything with his life. I made a video that I thought was really good at the start of this channel, which was stop listening to people who are unsuccessful. I'll link that below if you want to go check that out. And I got a lot of stick from this, particularly people in my family. But at the end of the day, why are you listening to people who you don't respect, people who aren't successful in any kind of aspect of life that you aspire to be like? Why would you listen to their advice? At the end of the day, chances are they are only saying that because they want to drag you down, because you're trying to do something that they haven't done, maybe they wanted to do, but for whatever reason, whether it be lack of confidence or they were just lazy or whatever it may be, they didn't do it, and they see you trying to make something, trying to go off script, trying to make money online, trying to do something that's against the social norms, and they will be just like crabs and try and drag you back down so you can't get out of that bucket. And this is normally always the case. I see it time and time again. These people are leeches, so you really need to just stop listening to these people. And it really does make me sad when I see someone, because I saw it myself. So when I see young people try, and I speak to people with my coaching, they try and do something a bit different, and their parents or their peers will be like, oh, come on, just be realistic. Come on, like you should do it. Why are you not married? Why do you not have a girlfriend? You're 25, you're nearly 30, you don't have kids, you've not got your own house and all of this. I'm like, why do I need to do that? I don't need to stick to the script. It's not the lifestyle I want. So if I don't want to do that, I don't need to do that. And you should stop listening to these people, because they don't want what's best for you. They want you to follow the script, and they want you to do what they think's best. They don't care about what you want to do. They don't care what's best for you. And that is very important. Stop listening to these people, because there's not many people out there at all, I can promise you, that really care about you, that really want what is best for you. I do. I honestly do want what's best for you, but most people don't. And even your so-called good friends and your family, they probably don't, let's be honest. And I'll be the only person who will speak to you like this, and I'll get stick for it, because a lot of people won't have the backbone to go and say it, but I will, because I just speak my truth. I speak what matters. I speak what you need to hear, and that's what I always do, wherever it takes me in life. So, bit of a rant, but yeah, very important point. Thanks to my sister for saying that. And the final point that I have, it links quite closely to the second point that I just made, is having the ability to just block out all that noise, and that comes from having a bigger purpose in your life. You've got to have something that will take you away from all this noise. I don't know, it doesn't have to be on paper like something massive. It doesn't have to be your own business. It doesn't have to be anything crazy at all. But for you, something that matters deep inside of you, where you can just go and block out all the people that are just saying shit in your ear. You'll just carry on regardless. And it's got to really matter to you, because if it doesn't matter to you inside, if it's not really your kind of purpose, if it's not that important, you will end up getting dragged down by these people who don't want what's best for you. They just want to see you fall. They want to say, I told you so, I told you it wouldn't work, and that's not what I want to see at all. So obviously I've made a few videos on purpose. You can go check out my channel if you want to find more out about purpose, but I think a lot of people do kind of know what that is. It's just something, it's not something like you really need to wrap your head around. It's just something that really matters to you in a moment of time. It doesn't have to be anything massive. It changes as well over time. But if you can find your major purpose through your life quite early on, it will set you apart from most people, and you will then have that ability to go and block out all this noise, all these people that are just trying to say shit behind your back. And that's special, because I know in this modern day with technology, with social media, with just how a lot of people are very negative and don't want to see you succeed, it's very difficult to do this. But there's a few people out there, including myself, and hopefully you in time will be able to do this, because having that will really push you on, and you'll be able to go very far in life. And that is a massive purpose of this channel. But I really hope this video has helped you to become a lot more mentally strong, to become a lot more stoic. If you want more help, more maybe personal guidance on how you can get there, my link will be below if you want to work one-on-one with me in my coaching. And yeah, if you could like and subscribe, all of that stuff, you know, it helps me a lot. That's what I want to do. I want to push this channel. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Take care.